So Mark has sketched at a high level what we need to do with specific actions that we can take to get started. And my colleagues here have shown that change is possible and in some cases really exciting. But change, particularly change to our own homes, often is inconvenient and requires upfront investment. So why do this? And the answer is because our lives, our livelihood, and the future of our children and grandchildren is at stake. Because continuing our dependence on fossil fuels, in the end, is far more costly to our health, our economic and political stability, and our habitat than transitioning to a clean energy economy. And because we need to take responsibility for the emissions that we generate and start becoming the solution rather than the problem. Oh, is it up there? Oh, there we go. Our climate is changing at an alarming rate, and humans are the major cause. 9 of the hottest years on record have occurred in the last 10 years. The poles are warming twice as fast as other areas of the globe, destabilizing atmospheric and ocean currents that have determined global weather for centuries. Here in the US, we're seeing more extreme weather, like the rapid succession of hurricanes last fall, with 2 massive cyclones hitting Texas, Puerto Rico, and Florida, and multi-year droughts and wildfires in the West and Southwest. Temperatures in New England are rising faster than elsewhere in the US. In fact, scientists predict that our temperature will rise 50% faster than the globe as a whole. We're expected to see an increase in yearly rainfall, but that rainfall won't be distributed evenly. There'll be heavy downpours in winter and spring and possible droughts and heat waves in the summer. And as a coastal state, we'll cope not only with severe storms, but rising sea levels, storm surges, and coastal erosion. The American College of Physicians prepared this graphic on, there we go, on climate change on human health. While it was designed with health impacts in mind, it can be used to talk about analogous costs. The inner circle represents the cycle of climate change, with increasing CO2 leading to rising temperatures, more extreme weather, and warmer and rising seas. The next layer is the first degree impacts. And as you can see, they range from air pollution to water quality impacts, extreme heat, water and food supply. And let's just take a look at a couple. Severe weather. Superstorm Sandy on our back door, basically, on our doorstep, 157 deaths, $65 billion. Harvey and Irma combined, 200 official deaths, and Moody estimates up to $200 billion in damages. These include damage to property, infrastructure, and lost productivity while people were out of work for days and schools were closed. Changes in vector ecology. Warming temperatures lengthen the season and range of disease-bearing insects like ticks and mosquitoes. Increased humidity from flooding and rainfall can increase breeding. Incidence of familiar disease like Lyme and West Nile will increase, and diseases like dengue, Zika, and chikungunya, typically associated with the tropics, will move north. Local-born Zika virus transmission has been reported in Texas and South Florida. Water quality impacts. Flooding can overwhelm sewage systems, as it did in Houston during Hurricane Harvey, which dropped trillions of gallons of water on the city. Coliform and E. coli exploded in the waters running through the streets. Environmental degradation. The U.S. is already seeing the first climate change refugees within our borders. Communities in Louisiana and Alaska have asked the federal government to fund relocation for entire populations due to climate change. This is sobering for life as we know it. But we can mitigate the worst impacts of climate change by acting responsibly now. We can reduce our carbon footprint by planning for a transition to renewable energy sources. Individually and collectively, we can make choices today that ensure a livable tomorrow for our children, our grandchildren, and ourselves. In doing so, we not only make our lives and the world healthier, we also build our economy. We keep energy dollars local, and we create new jobs in renewable energy here in Massachusetts. There's every reason in the world to do this. Let's make this happen.